Hello, I'm Tom Chemnitz, founder of Royal Fireworks Press and the happy publisher of the Michael Clay Thompson Language Arts curriculum. It's a curriculum that we have changed substantially over the years. It began as a single volume called Word Within a Word and expanded from there to include vocabulary, grammar, poetics, writing, and literature. One of our purposes in the curriculum is to offer the children a very rich intellectual experience. The very brightest children will not find a ceiling here. We hope you find this video a useful introduction to the curriculum.
Michael Clay Thompson has created a language arts curriculum that, for decades, has delighted more than 4 million children around the world and promoted a love and understanding of the English language that is unparalleled by other curricula. The MCT curriculum is the gold standard for language arts curricula. All MCT language arts texts are based on the belief that children need challenging, classical academics, and that academics are inherently interesting and exciting.
How could you possibly prevent this from being interesting?
Michael has repeatedly won Practical Homeschooling's award for Best Language Arts Curriculum. And best of all, the success of the MCT approach is backed by research.
There's a sense in which language arts is the core of all content. You go into a history classroom, they aren't speaking history.
A number of studies have found the MCT approach successful in teaching not only grammar and vocabulary, but seemingly unrelated subjects like biology, geometry, and others.
We can power the kids up in language arts. They're going to be better students in every subject.
For links to these studies and more, visit our website. The MCT language arts curriculum is most often introduced to children at about the age of 8. Generally, children are ready to begin the curriculum when they are adept enough at reading to be able to learn from it. Michael is currently working on material for children at about the ages of 6 and 7. Some parents are concerned with our emphasis on gifted children, but we consistently receive positive feedback from parents, teachers, and tutors who have used our curriculum successfully with students from a wide range of learning abilities and reading levels. In fact, Michael created his curriculum using design elements that make it accessible even to children who have difficulty reading. However, nothing is dumbed down. This curriculum is sophisticated and is perfect for homeschoolers who are willing to dedicate time to discussion. You can begin using this curriculum as soon as the child is ready for it. Education is a relationship, an interaction between a child and the material, and it is our duty to make that relationship as engaging and enjoyable as possible. The goal of the MCT curriculum is for children to have a positive, lifelong relationship with the English language and its literature. The MCT curriculum strives to reach children on many levels so that they will have a deep understanding of and appreciation for English language arts. Story, art, humor, imaginative play, and creative design all serve as vehicles for learning and are integral parts of each component of the curriculum. There are 7 levels of the curriculum, beginning with level 1, for children approximately 8 years old, when they are at the age at which they are reading to learn, and extending up through level 7, for students 14 years or older, although the curriculum at this level surpasses what most children will learn in college. Each level of the curriculum has 5 parts: grammar, vocabulary, writing, poetics, and literature. And they're all interconnected, but each can be implemented independently. For example, if a parent only wants to do grammar, the grammar books work as standalone texts. The books also work in any combination. For example, if a parent wants to do only grammar and writing, there's an additional practice component that reinforces the grammar and is crucial to the implementation of the curriculum. The MCT language arts curriculum has 2 main goals. 1, to give children a foundation in the language arts that will carry them through life. And 2, to lead children to a lifelong love of the English language. Each part of the curriculum at every level contains a student book and a teacher or parent manual. Children read the student books and complete assignments that generally require the use of higher order thinking skills, such as analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and creativity. The teacher and parent manuals contain, in most cases, the full text of the student books, as well as answers to exercises, hints and tips for effective implementation, and an array of Socratic questions to engage the children and induce them to think deeply about the material. In this way, children are learning using the same methods that they will use when they get to college, methods that engage more of their brains, that entice them to discuss and debate the information they are learning, that encourage them to become excited about it, and that ultimately solidify the knowledge so that they have it long after the test and the academic year is over. The MCT curriculum texts just don't feel like traditional textbooks, and that's because they aren't.
Kids who have grammar, they have a foundation for academic life and success and happiness. The kids who don't have grammar don't have, and there's no way around it.
Grammar is the foundation of the MCT curriculum. Every level of the curriculum begins with the grammar component. Throughout the vocabulary, writing, poetics, and literature books, grammar is never far from consideration.
Would we ask kids to play chess and not tell them how the pieces move? Grammar is how pieces of writing move. Grammar is the rules of the game.
Michael approaches grammar as no one else does. There's no intricate diagramming, no list of arcane rules, no joyless worksheets. Instead, Michael engages children in a 4-part analysis of every sentence.
What do I mean by the 4 levels? I just mean the same traditional levels. Parts of speech, parts of sentence, phrases, and clauses. Okay? That's all.
The grammar component is meant to be launched early and finished quickly so that children have it to use throughout the rest of the academic year. That's because every other element of the curriculum depends on the children understanding grammar.
If you don't have grammar, you can't punctuate correctly. You're just winging it.
As such, the children continue to hone their grammar knowledge after the grammar book is finished by solving 4-level analysis sentences in inexpensive and disposable grammar practice books, which we'll discuss later.
It's obvious that any little child who is ready for Tyrannosaurus Rex is ready to learn that serene means calm. This whole grade level vocabulary idea amounts to a national vocabulary prevention program.
Beginning from the first level, children develop an understanding of how English words are built from Latin and Greek stems.
Students who don't know many words can't write many words. You know what I mean? I mean, not everything needs to be researched. This is true.
These stems are the key to understanding a huge trove of words, opening up the English language for children in ways that are virtually unattainable using any other method.
If you know the 100 most common Latin and Greek stems, then that creates a vocabulary increase of 5,000 words. But how would you do it?
The 2 bases of Michael's vocabulary program are his database of words from the great classic novels and his research into the vocabulary of a multitude of academic disciplines. Michael is a word nerd who, whenever he read a classic novel, noted every interesting word the author used and how he or she used it. He compiled a database of words based on hundreds of classic novels in the English language. When he lists what the 100 most used classic words are, he is not guessing. He knows. And he knows precisely how they were used, and by whom, and how often, and the sentences in which they appear. The other part of the foundation of Michael's vocabulary program is his research into the language of various academic disciplines. Michael studied the glossaries and indices of the texts and advanced theoretical books and selected the stems, mostly of Greek and Latin origin, that are integral to the language of each discipline. Combined with his database of classic words, this puts the vocabulary component of his curriculum on a firm basis that no other vocabulary program can match. In the MCT curriculum, children learn to play with words. This play has serious results.
It's like a Lego set of Latin and Greek pieces.
Parents often tell us how quickly after beginning the vocabulary part of the curriculum, their children begin to make connections between what they are learning and the words they see and hear. The performance goal of the entire curriculum is the ability to communicate, particularly the ability to write at the highest level.
If the kids cannot write quality academic language now, and we want them to be able to, we can't fix that just by changing writing activities.
To write well, children must have a thorough understanding of grammar and a rich vocabulary. Excellence in writing means perfect grammar, precise word choice, a poetic sense of the language, and an orderly thought process.
We have to implement system-wide a complete and a coherent curriculum of formal language study. That's what's necessary. And yet, that's the very thing that has been removed from the curricula across the country.
Our curriculum seeks to foster academic writing, the kind of writing that will be expected of students in college and of professionals in life. The MCT writing books build toward that goal. Children are repeatedly challenged to write because practice produces better writing performances, just as it produces better piano performances and better athletic performances. Michael argues forcefully that poetics is an essential part of a language arts curriculum. After all, writing well is not just about knowing grammar and vocabulary. Once children are able to write correctly and with clarity and brevity, they can polish their writing skills and improve upon them by using the same techniques that great poets use. Poetry will not just enrich them, it will make them better writers.
Sounds have relationships between each other and toward ideas. And it's an acute sense of that pervades great poets and great prose writers.
Poetry is more than that, though. It is more human and intellectual than many people realize. And from the beginning, Michael brings to children the same excitement and joy that the greatest poets experience. At each level, Michael introduces children to the importance of sound, meter, rhyme, stanza, and poetic devices. And like all the rest of his curriculum, these elements are a joy to learn because of the way they are presented, with enthusiasm and a love for the material. The practice books play an important part in the implementation of the MCT curriculum. Each practice book contains 100 sentences for children to analyze. But by the upper levels of the curriculum, the analysis expected is not only the 4-part analysis of the parts of speech, parts of the sentence, phrases, and clauses, it is also an analysis of the grammar, vocabulary, writing, and poetic elements of each sentence. We make a big deal at Royal Fireworks Press about not using worksheets, but what's the difference between our practice books and worksheets? The difference is considerable. Worksheets require children to drill the same skill over and over again, spitting out memorized information in dull circle the answer, fill in the blank, or multiple choice fashion. The MCT practice books are a thoughtful extension of the lessons, with example sentences that are written and selected for their humor, depth, poetry, and relevance.
And how educated will she be after 2 years of skill drills?
Children aren't expected to run through hundreds of problems per day, but rather to analyze deeply and discuss just a few sentences a week. A love of literature is an essential goal of the MCT Language Arts curriculum. The ultimate test of the program is this: if the child does not love reading, we have failed. After all, as Michael points out, it is by loving to read that children become literate. We recommend that children read classic literature year-round in conjunction with this curriculum. Michael has produced several trilogies of great classic works for the literature component of his curriculum. Each trilogy package consists of 3 works of literature that are related in some way, together with a parent manual. In each of the classic works, Michael provides close-ups of poetic techniques, 4-level analyses of interesting grammar, and comments about writing strategies. These language illustrations all focus on the author's writing, while still keeping the child's mind on the book itself. The language illustrations perform 2 essential functions. First, they validate what the children are learning from the grammar, vocabulary, writing, and poetics components of the curriculum. Second, they are in and of themselves a great lesson in learning how to read purposefully. When children come to a language illustration, they often realize that they had not even noticed what Michael is pointing out to them. Ultimately, this helps them to become more careful readers. Children are strongly encouraged to choose additional classics to read throughout the year. For guidance in choosing other titles, Michael's Classics in the Classroom is a valuable resource. It includes a glossary of detailed information about more than 1,000 classic works of literature. The design of each book in the MCT Language Arts curriculum is unique. The books are not just written by Michael, they are designed by him with the children in mind. The curriculum is remarkable in its ability to make design work to enhance understanding of the concepts. In the majority of the books, each page or spread of 2 pages is deliberately structured to contain individual concepts and ideas in their entirety. As a result, understanding jumps off the pages. This way of presenting ideas is one that other publishers would find highly inefficient, but we recognize the importance of not only what information is delivered, but how it is delivered. We are concerned with making certain that children understand the concepts and enjoy understanding them. This curriculum does not cut corners on ideas. In addition to page design, we have taken into consideration other visual elements of the MCT books. Our strategic use of color promotes calm and understanding of the material. Our use of art promotes imagination and discussion. Everything about the design of the books has been done intentionally to facilitate an enjoyable and focused learning environment that encourages creativity. The intellectual heft of this curriculum distinguishes it from every other. Nothing is dumbed down. Michael stretches children by offering information about and examples from the works of authors that the children will not read until years later. This gives them an introductory familiarity with the great writers of English. They do not have to be ready to master Shakespeare, for example, to experience and understand the beauty of the meter of the Witches of Macbeth. The material is challenging because Michael knows that children can handle challenges. Children like to be challenged, and gifted children in particular need challenge. Now you know what makes the MCT Language Arts curriculum great, but you may not know where to begin. First, you'll need to figure out whether the recommended age for the books is the appropriate level for your child. Some parents deviate by a year or more from our recommendations based on the needs and the readiness of the child. We're always happy to help you choose the appropriate level for your child. Just give us a call.
We hope you have found this video useful. If you have further questions, please give us a call. We're happy to talk to you. Thank you for watching.